Well, we have a big ice storm coming, and it's not going to be nice. We have early tomorrow morning, there's a big storm front coming in, and it's going to produce probably about a half an inch of ice for me, so I'm preparing. Dumping my rainwater tanks because I'm concerned that they'll freeze and possibly get damaged. So that goes to this tank, which I'm dumping. You can see that water level starting to come down there. This clear line is for my fish tanks in the house, just in case I lose power and the house freezes inside. I don't want water in them. And the hot tub has been full. It's not on, so I'm dumping it because I don't want it to get damaged. And I have a wood stove to go in there, but I've just been too tired. I haven't been able to get it installed. So as you can see, I have a really nice stove here. It has a blower and all kinds of good stuff in it. Very highly efficient. But I just haven't felt well enough to get it installed into the house. So I would take the battery charger, and I've got a battery for the Volkswagen. I'll charge that, and then I'll make sure the truck is topped off, because I've been feeling so exhausted and fatigued that the truck's been in the garage, and I've been having to recharge the battery every month just to keep it topped off. So I'll make sure that that's all charged up and be prepared. And back here I have 6 gallons, and another 5 gallons of fresh water on reserve, in case we need that for drinking water and toilet flushing. And if we lose power for an extended period of time, I do have a generator. This is brand new, it's never been run, and it runs off of propane and gasoline. And that dude puts out like 3,500 watts of power, so it would be enough to keep the house warm and keep the refrigerator functioning, and probably a little bit for the fish. So hopefully these guys will make it through. I do have some battery powered air pumps, and then I've got all my little plants in here, some fig starts, but I'm hoping these guys get through this. If I lose power, I'll put some quilts and cardboard around that fish tank to keep it a little bit warmer, and then I can always use the barbecue outside to put on a big pot of water, and you can put big rocks and stones in there, and then you can, once they're hot, then you can drop those into your fish tank and add supplemental heat to them if I need to. And my big 180 I'm going to drain too. I do keep these empty tanks without fish in them full because it's good thermal mass to keep the house stable, and it's good emergency water. But if I lose power, I don't want this to freeze and cause damage, so I'm going to dump them. So this storm is no joke. We had a nice storm here about 6-7 years ago, and the neighbor had this big silverleaf maple, and it dropped a small limb on the house that weighed probably 3 tons. Branches this big, punched a hole through the roof sheathing and rattled the whole house. It was scary, to say the least. But that tree has been taken out now, and it's the only tree that's close to my house. I don't grow trees close to my house because of ice storms. So this is, yeah, you don't want those near you when they freeze. And of course my main heat is my heat pump, which if we lose power I won't have. I do have a couple of small propane heaters, which I would use as an absolute last resort. I don't like the idea of bringing propane into the house. Seems dangerous in terms of ventilation, which can cause asphyxiation. So I can run the fireplace if I need to. It's very inefficient. It doesn't really put out much heat, so I don't know it's going to be a positive for me. The chimney's too short, so it doesn't draw properly in these houses that they put these in. So that's why I really don't use it. I do have a old glass panel to go over the front if I wanted to run the fireplace. But yeah, this is not a nice storm coming in. Ice is very deadly and scary. So yeah, dump all the water because it'll freeze, especially if it's outside. It's these big tanks though, these big 300-gallon tanks that I'm dumping now. I don't tend to get them to ice up on me when it gets cold, but with this kind of a storm, I'm not going to take a risk. It could be just something like a small plumbing fixture at the bottom that I could lose, and that could crack because those are pretty narrow, and I just don't want any damage. And Eddie's got some jammies to keep him warm, and we can cuddle up, keep each other nice and warm. So yeah, it's trying to be prepared. I have all the vent foundation blocks put in earlier in the season, so the foundation is sealed up pretty good. And I'll dump my water catchment barrel to keep it from freezing. I think the sailboat is okay. It doesn't have any liquids in it, and part of the reason I drilled a hole in the keel is so that it could drain all the water from the boat, so it any kind of rainwater, and so we should not have a problem there. And what I didn't show you guys recently is I made a support system, and I put a big chunk of plastic over the boat so it'll shed water, and this will also keep water out of her that could potentially freeze. I'm really glad now that I got this done because it's gonna keep the boat a lot safer for this upcoming storm. I think the bug is okay because she doesn't have any liquid in her and she's got a cover. And these are my regular winter preparations of blocking the foundation and of course covering all the hose bibs.